Hi, I'm Graham from Second Era of Moles, and if you've clicked on this video accidentally, 90 seconds is all I ever ask. Welcome back to another week that was on Pokemon Masters X. I think this is number 18 now, so been going a good old while. Hopefully you're enjoying the series as it stands. This week has been a bit of a calm before the storm week, I think. So we've had the Champion Stadium still in Unova. We've had the end of the beachside rivalry, or it ends about when this video comes out. We've still got the Summer Superstars event. We've had the Bugsy and Scyther introductory event come along. Mewtwo and Giovanni have returned as lurking shadows. Latios has returned to the legendary arena. And then at the end of this week, we've had a huge dump of information about what's coming soon. So we'll get to that later. But who's ready to start off in the Champion Stadium? I know I am! So, in tackling the Elite Four, it's always good to start at the beginning with round 1. For this round you get a physical attack reduction. If you've seen any previous episodes, you probably know that for this one I chose to take on Marshal with his fighting types. The team I chose will look very familiar because it was Jasmine, Xerneas and Lily, same as last week. I wasn't intending to, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I had originally started off with Heliolisk in there to give a bit of self-healing and a bit of variety to the team, but Heliolisk went down quite quickly. I also noticed that Throh gets a +2 evasiveness straight off the bat, so I thought, you know what, Lily has X accuracy all, so that's going to come in very handy. But other than that, it is very similar to last week. You raise defense in the early rounds with Jasmine, you're using attacks with Xerneas, you're raising accuracy with Lily. Xerneas has the first sync move to get those special attack boost, special defense boost, speed boosts, which always come in handy. Jasmine then uses the sync moves after that because she gets, in addition to doing the damage, she gets 6x, health and move gauge boosts all in one, which is a very useful package to have. I ended up using more Moon Blasts this week than last week because, you know, when you're thinking about Horn Leech, that's to restore your health. If you've got Fairy type 5 with Xerneas, those Moon Blasts are going to do more damage. In terms of your conditions, if you're using Lily in a similar way with Dazzling Gleam to reduce stats, you want to make sure that you can have stats reductions on there. But this one should be reasonably easy, and you'll get to throw out of the dojo. You know? Oh, that was good. Moving on from that terrible joke and into round 2. For this one, it's status conditions. They're more likely to occur, they do more damage, and they last for longer. I saw Shauntal was weak to ice types this week, so I thought ice types, freezing, that's going to be a good one. So my team was Glacier and Glalie, Rosa and Serperia, and Getsis and Kyurem. I wonder if I'm saying Getsis right. The GH makes me hesitate. Either way you say it, I've got him gridded with a tile that makes freezing more likely. If you're using Glaciate, that's going to hit all of your opponents, so you've got the opportunity to freeze all of them in one turn. Similar with Glacier. Ice like a glacier! I've just got that. But she has Powdered Snow, which hits all of them. It's a 1-bar move, and that can also potentially cause a bit of freezing as well. She's got Health Restoration. I know the Glacier gets a bad rap in coming up too often in your 5-star pulls, but she's not quite tanky enough, but she does well enough in this team. Did I say enough in that one? And then as always, Rosa goes well with Kyurem for special attack boosts and move bar boosts. I have Rosa at 6x, so she gets the first sync move. Other than that, there's nothing too clever about it. You're just glaciating to take everyone out. You're using Powdered Snow as a 1-bar move to keep that sync move countdown going down with Glacier. The sides shouldn't cause you too much damage because Glaciate is going to take them out way before it takes the middle out, and then you're using Kyurem's sync move to do as much damage to the middle as you can. So yeah, Ghetsis is the real hero of this team. Or should that be villain? Moving swiftly on to round 3, where you get a physical attack boost. I chose to take on Caitlyn for this one, as she was weak to ghost types. Morty is a physical striker, so that slotted in quite well, and the team I chose to put around him was Phoebe and Dusknoir, and Koga and Crobat. Now you might be thinking, Koga? That's a bit unusual. Usually you'd only put him in for a sort of poison stall sort of team. And that is true, and I did inflict poison in there as well. But the main reason he's there is to support Morty. So Morty's trainer move raises his attack, raises his evasiveness, raises his stats. And I've got him gridded to have Blind Spot. That means the higher his evasiveness, the more powerful his sync move. So rather than relying on getting endless refreshes with that, I was like, how can I raise his evasiveness? Koga, on his X speed, can have Slippery Sidekicks, which raises evasiveness. So the maximum you can get from that is 3, and it just seemed pretty obvious to me that, well, you want to raise that evasiveness as much as you can as quickly as possible. I didn't have a 6x support in there, so Morty's got to be as powerful as possible, as quickly as possible. And then Phoebe's in there for vigilance, raising critical hit rate, and also attack and move bar usage. So my first sync move, I pointed at Kadabra on the right to take that one out, which left 2 in the middle, using Shadow Ball and just trying to get to that second sync move, doing a bit of poison damage and Venoshock. When it comes, the enemy's sync move is probably going to take out Phoebe, so be prepared for that. It will leave Koga and Morty with not very much health left, but by that point you should be in line to use your second sync move. That's going to either take out Reuniclus in the middle, or it's going to do a heck of a lot of damage to it. For me, I'd left it with a little sort of sliver in there, so when it used an attack to take out Koga, the poison kicked in and took Reuniclus down. That meant that I could queue up a Phantom Presence to take out Jinx. So it was like Icy Wind, and I was like, missing me. And Phantom Presence, and you're gone. So for the final member of the Elite Four, your condition is that field effects are permanent. I wasn't really sure who to use that on this week. I thought maybe I could go with like a Blizzard build for the ice round. Then I thought, you know what? I'll put together a Sun team and I'll take on Grimsley, even though we're going off type a little bit. So I put Lyra and Sceptile in there and put Hilbert in as my support. Brendan's sync move is physical, and he also has inertia, so you want those attack and speed stats to be as high as possible. Hilbert's always good for that. Lyra has the first sync move to set Sun. She gets some healing from that, so does Brendan. They both get move gauge boost from that. So the team sort of comes together really well. Once you've raised all of the stats, you can start doing Waterfall with Hilbert to maybe get some flinches. I don't think I got a single one, but them's the breaks. As we're going off type with this one, your moves take a while to build up to be hitting really hard, so you probably get a Lyra sync move, and then a Hilbert sync move, and then a Brendan sync move, and then we're into the realms of serious damage when that happens. So you've got to be a bit patient. The only other thing I'll say is that the Persian has Icy Wind. The support on the other side, can't remember what it was, has Dark Pulse. So I would rather be taking Dark Pulses from that side rather than Icy Winds that are going to potentially take out my striker in the middle. So Persian first, then take out the other side. And for the final round, we have Champion Iris again this week. The permanent condition is a special attack boost. I chose my optional condition of a physical attack boost because she's weak to fighting types this week, and so the team I chose to take on Iris was Bee and Surfetched, Leaf and Eevee, and Signasuit Blue and Blastoise. So because Meteor Assault is a 4-bar move, I tried to use that first of all to get the bar moving. I then use it whenever the bar is full. Bee has 3 lots of trainer moves to use, so if there's not the bars there to use Meteor Assault, you can use one of them. I had thought about using permanent field effects again, because when you've got Blue and Blastoise in there, they've got that to the top, which is going to make your move gauge refill a lot more quickly, so that's an option for you there. Blue, as always, gets the first sync move to get that team endurance. I was thinking maybe to do Eevee next to get those stat boosts for everyone, but I could see that Iris was going to be having her sync move next, and I thought I kind of want to make sure that she goes down rather than thinking, raise her on stats. So I did that, and I was left with the sides. Through the normal course of things, I'd be relying on Bee to kind of one-shot Iris, and I'd be aiming my Meteor Assault's sides to try and take them out during the rounds between the sync moves. But it's up to you. If you think that you're just going to tank through when the sides start attacking, then go for it. I always underestimate how good of a unit Eevee is, so I kind of put her in there for maybe that sync boost, maybe her potions, but she's more than that. She can use flinch as well. She can boost the move bar with Let's Go. So she's going to be the next one I'm going to try to raise to 6x. In the end though, I didn't need her potions for this round. I was getting towards the end of it and I was like, oh, Blastoise is low on health. I'm about to win anyway, so what's the point? And when all's said and done, you should be standing on top of that dais with your 7,500 points. Your characters are all smiling or fist pumping or whatever. Like, Bee looks super intense, doesn't she? Kind of looks like Toph, doesn't she? I think it's the pale eyes. We've got one more week of Unova in the Champions Stadium. I don't know yet where we'll be moving to. I'm just going to say at this point, in 2 weeks' time, I'm on holiday, so we'll miss the first week of the next region because there won't be a video. Next week, video. Week after, no video. For the Summer Superstars, I mentioned last week that I had overlooked the Johto condition for that. Well, because of the region rotation, I had a Johto team all ready to go, and that team was Silver, Lyra, Jasmine. And I managed to make it through all 3 rounds with just this one team, which I thought was pretty handy dandy. So Silver's in there as your main striker with Ho-Oh. It's useful when he gets Sun Boost because of that Solar Beam. It also helps Lyra, as I mentioned earlier. Jasmine can sync to get that 6x boost and also restore health and also restore move bar. So the order I went was Silver syncs first for the Sun, then Jasmine for the 6x boost, and then back to Silver because he's the striker and also to keep that Sun resetting. And there wasn't anything particularly fancy or daring about it. It was just be smart with who you're attacking. Remember that there's less than a week left of this summer event, so make sure that you get your rewards and you finish off the full force battle if you want to get your missions completed for that. At the back end of last week, the Bugsy and Scyther event was launched. I couldn't record on my usual day, so I had to do it earlier. That's why it was missed off of last week's video. It's not an overly complex event. You keep on beating down Bugsy to get the rewards. You get some codex and tomes as rewards. There's 4-star tickets. So lots of things up to power your Scyther up to 5-star and raise its level cap as much as you need to. There's also less than a week left on that event, so make sure that you at least get the 4-star tickets out of that, and you get the duplicates to raise the sync move level. I was very surprised that Bugsy was a male character. I looked at him and I thought, yeah, it's a woman. Bit of a tomboyish woman. It's a woman. So, the things we learn. The Lurking Shadow event is back, so the original OG baddie from Pokemon games, Giovanni, is back with number 150 in your decks, Mewtwo. Mewtwo has now got a sync grid, which there's some interesting tiles on there. I'm not quite sure which direction I'm going to go, so there's ones about lowering special defense, there's an endurance in there somewhere, there's a restoring health from psychic terrain. So, gonna need to have a bit of a play around with that and see what we can do with our main man and his main Pokemon. Latios makes its return to the Legendary Arena. That means that it has 3 new challenges. Those challenges are use 3 Hoenn types, use 3 Gym Leader types, and use 3 Dragon types. So I used 9 pairs in total to get through that. The first were all Hoenn pairs, so it was Zinnia and Rayquaza, Drake and Salamence, and Phoebe and Dusknoir. That also gives you 2 of your Dragon types as well, so you're ahead of the game. I'll admit I was a bit all over the place with this one. I was caught between, do I take out the sides so that I can then focus on the middle, or do I focus on the middle and then do the occasional bit of damage to the sides? So it was a bit of a mix and match strategy. Eventually I did take out the sides first and then started focusing on Latios. I was using Zinnia and Rayquaza as my main striker, using Outrage and Clear-Headed to do, big hits there. I was using Salamence to raise defensive stats, Phoebe to raise crit hit rate, refresh the move bar and raise attack, and Zinnia was able to do a fair amount of damage, got into the second bar as well before she fainted. Drake and Saladface get a lot of stick for being like the only 4-star strike unit or something like that, but in this battle I found him really useful. The defensive stats obviously help a lot. He can refresh the move bar with one of them. He causes paralysis, which is helpful because it will occasionally let them miss a move. And then when everyone else has fainted, he was the last man standing for me, so he was Dragon Clawing in there to chip a bit more damage away, which is like, yeah, I'll take anything I can get at this point. And so with that team, I got down to 72% of the middle bar left. That meant I had to hand over to my second team. So that second team was Rosa and Serperia, Claire and Seadra, and Jasmine and Steelix. So that's your 3rd dragon type in there. 2 of them are also gym leaders, so you only need 1 more gym leader to cross off all of those tasks. Claire is your main striker with Draco Meteor. I have her with the lucky skill that her special attack can't be lowered, so that always helps there. Rosa is raising special attack. Jasmine is handling defensive and tanking duties there. Both of them are 6x, so you can get a couple of 6x sync moves in there, sync boosts as well. I was happy with Claire, she was hitting hard, but then we got into the 3rd bar and not long after that she fainted, so that left my 2 supports trying to do a bit of damage. And yeah, they chipped away, same as Salamence, but really just sort of setting it up for the 3rd bar. So in that 3rd bar it was down to 79% health left, and then the weakness changes to ice types. So I put Skylar and Swanna in there as my final gym leader. I put Getsis and Kyurem as my ice type striker for Glaciate, and then that left me with a freebie, so I chose Signasuit, Elesa and Rotom for that special attack boost, and also Breathtaking to reduce the sync move countdown. And I now have both of those supports at 6x. So one syncs, the other one syncs. No, I don't think it did, actually. I think one synced, and then I was like, well, there's not much left, so there's no point in using a sync move for a support. So Glaciate, just to do as much damage as possible. You get Breathtaking for that countdown reduction as well, and you are just relying on Kyurem to do those huge hits and take down Latios. Didn't quite manage to get the screenshot there, just seconds too late. But if you follow that guide, you'll see that you get your 1,000 gems for completing all 3 of them. There was also a message from the Masters team, so a couple of highlights that I've picked out are we've got another week in Unova for the Battle Villa. You'll soon be getting Battle Point rewards from Master Mode. You're going to have Leah, Rachel and Sawyer come as sync pairs that you can team up with. I'm really looking forward to having Rachel because I think her voice lines are amazing. Like, I'm gonna crush you. At the moment, you can pull the Pallet Town Trio, that's 72 hours short burst event. If you have the gems available, I would say go for it because any one of the 3 of them are a powerful unit to add to your team. You see how much I use Signasuit Blastoise. At some point in the next month, there's going to be a type rotation that replaces the region rotation. We're going to have the end of the story mode, so that's going to be cool. We're gearing up to the 2-year anniversary, so there's going to be lots of stuff happening around that. I would recommend giving it a quick read through or a skim read through at best, just to see. There's so much packed into there. I could be here another 10 minutes reading it all out and going through it. But I'm not going to. I'm going to say thank you for joining me for the week that was. Hopefully it's been a good week for you. I know I've certainly picked up a lot of leveling up gear that I wasn't anticipating getting, so that's a bonus. If there's anything you'd like me to include for next week, please let me know, and hopefully you'll join me for the week that will be. But you're well past the 90-second mark at this point, so thank you very much and congratulations. Please subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter to get notifications for when the next video drops. I do other things than Pokemon Masters X, so maybe check those out as well. But thank you very much for watching this video, and goodbye!